Hi, we're Team Maze-A-Thon. I'm David Gustafson,
I'm Izzy Summers.
And I'm Anna Brown.
and we got a project here for you today. So everyone's seen the marble maze idea before, but no one has seen marble mazes in which you have modular mazes, one in which each maze is its own respective maze that can be solved on its own by a kid, but they can be connected together in any shape, way, or fashion, and it's infinitely customizable. So, Izzy's got something to share.
So one of the first and most important things that we learned, especially after getting feedback, was the connection wasn't as sturdy as we wanted it to be. So it fits in really well, but the problem is if you let go, it starts to fall out. We learned this after we sent the project to the school to be reviewed, and the students had some problems with it sliding out, so we decided to add Velcro to the sides with some branding on it as well, so it keeps it together and keeps it from sliding out.
So, as you can see, you can slide them together like that, but you don't have to do it like that. You can do it however you want. So, this is an example we just made up real quick. We are recommending to kids that they don't do more than 4, just because if you're like ages 6 to 10, it's kind of hard to hold something large. But this is a 4 maze one, and you can see how the marble is right there, and it can move around in any way, shape, or fashion. This is one of the harder mazes, so I managed to get it though. But you can travel throughout all the mazes, so now it's in here and down there, and pretty much this one is a fully enclosed loop that the kid can keep doing over and over. When they're done, they can simply take it out, take the mazes out, and rearrange it however they want.
But you don't have to have an enclosed loop for your maze. So one thing that the kids also said was that marbles would often fall out of the mazes. So something we developed were stoppers at the end, which you can connect just like you connect to the other mazes. So this way, when you try and put the marble into the maze, it can go into here and throughout, and then at the end, you can take it out, and it will be neatly in this little section.
So this is everything that comes in the box. Right now we have 9 mazes, but we can expand that as far as you want. This is just what we had time for FEDD. We have 12 Velcro pieces, a start and an end piece, a magnet, and 9 different mazes, ranging in difficulty. We have 3 easy, 3 medium, and 3 hard, corresponding to color: blue easy, red hard, medium, and white hard. Blue focuses on just can you rotate a marble and have basic fine motor skills. Red is more puzzle based and intellectual, like can you solve a puzzle. And then white is very balance based. It requires a lot more skill.
Okay, so a few of the design challenges we had when 3D modeling all of these pieces. The main problem we came across was just the 3D modeling of the connector pieces, like getting it to fit flushly, getting it to fit well, like this one. So that was just a hard time getting it to model smoothly, getting the connectors to model smoothly. So here's one of our first prototypes where it's just like you're going to get the connectors on each end, and you can see it doesn't really want to connect because, you know, modeling on the computer is a lot different than 3D modeling on there. So we spent about 3 weeks of just getting that dimensions right to where it fits smoothly and how we want it. And that took really about 3 weeks. It's really a tedious process. And when we finally got it, like this one is one of our first models that we got that fit properly, and you can fit the marble through the hole. We finally got that, and then we could start building our mazes.
To start, we asked ourselves what we could do to design a toy for children between the ages of 5 and 12 that is both fun and achieves a learning objective. More specifically, we asked ourselves what we wanted the children to be learning when they engage with our toy, and we ultimately decided we wanted the toy to teach motor skills as well as problem-solving skills.
So then we moved on to imagine. Each of our team members came up with a different idea, a brainstorm idea, and we ultimately narrowed it down to 2 different ideas that best fit our goals of teaching problem-solving skills and motor skills. The first idea was a clear tower that had obstacles in it, and you would drop a marble down the entrance, and then you try to catch it with a cup at the exit of it. The second idea was the mazes, which we ended up implementing. So we ultimately decided to pursue the maze idea because after thorough evaluation of both ideas, we figured we would be able to better implement the maze idea, and we would be able to be more creative with it.
Once we had our idea, we had to create a plan of how we were going to create this toy. We quickly decided that 3D printing the mazes would be best for our project because it would be cost and time efficient and created the best quality mazes rather than hand constructing the mazes with other materials.
Then we moved on to create. So we first only created the connectors because this was going to be the most difficult part, and we didn't want to waste a bunch of filament and time trying to connect the connectors immediately. So we did the connectors separately, and once we figured out that those could work correctly, then we moved on to the mazes, and that was the more easy part.
We sent our designs to be tested by children at York Elementary School, and they sent us feedback on the toy in order to improve it. One of them was more mazes, so we made 6 additional mazes. Another was bigger access for the marbles, which we ended up fixing by getting smaller marbles. We also created more specific instructions and included a magnet to hold the marbles when they were exiting and entering the mazes.
Hey guys, it's Avery. If our group could go back and tell our past selves at the beginning of this project some things to do differently, we would tell ourselves to be generous with the margins at the beginning of the 3D modeling process, because at the beginning we'd spent like 3 to 4 weeks just working with small margins when we ended up having to just make our margins bigger in the end to get our design to fit together correctly. And so these 3 to 4 weeks we ended up just almost wasting, because we could have spent it working more on the design of the entire project in general. We would also tell future upcoming freshmen to do their research, because especially with the toy design project, we found it very helpful and useful for designing our toy. We looked into the U.S. Department of Education and also a lot into ADHD and how that is implemented into children. We would also say to get to know your team and to have fun.